Now, at least one of our new body classes needs to have an additional attribute with appropriate accessory mutative methods. I've said that I want my cat not only to be able to collect oranges, like in the demo, but to also have lives and lose lives when it collides with the dog. So I will basically mirror to some degree the orange count logic from here. So I will add an int live count. I will initially set the live count to 9, and then I will copy these two accessors and mutators, and I will change them to get live count and increment live count. And I will make sure that get live count returns live count, and I will make sure that increment live count increments live count rather than orange count. However, obviously in our gameplay we will not increment lives, but we will decrement lives instead. So I will change this to decrement live counts, and I will make sure that the live count is decremented by 1 rather than incremented. Moreover, I will change this message and say oops, lost live lives equals live count. Very well. So now my cat has an initial number of lives which can be retrieved and which can be decremented. And with that, I've fulfilled the third requirement of milestone 1. Very well. So now the game should be controllable with either the keyboard or mouse. I will make my game controllable with the mouse in the same way that I was able to control the bird in the original demo using the 1 and 2 keys. I will have my cat be controllable by the 1 and 2 keys. So the logic for controlling the cat is in controller. In controller, if you go into it, you have this method called keyPressed, and within it you have code here that tests whether a key 1 was pressed or a key 2 was pressed. And if a key 1 was pressed, then we make our body start walking in a negative direction. That means left. And if key 2 was pressed, then we make our body move right. And we want this particular body to refer to our cat. You notice that we set the body within the controller's constructor. So you have this body field or variable here, and you set it to whatever you send into the controller. Now let's see where we build or where we construct this controller object. If we go into game, all right, so if we go in games, in our game class over here, you will find a line that says frame add key listener new controller of world get player. So this is where we construct a new controller object, and we send into the constructor of the controller object, we send whatever world get player returns to us. Well, if we go into world get player. So remember that world is of type game world. So to find the get player method, we go into the game world, and we see that the get player method returns a cat. It returns our cat character. So that means that in here, in game, when we construct the controller, we send as a parameter our cat character. So the controller gets constructed with a cat as the body. So this in the controller, this body field gets set to our cat. So that's all good because it means that if we press 1 or 2, we are moving our cat. So let's see if this is actually true. I'm going to run my project after cleaning and building it. And hopefully, if I press 1 or 2, I'm able to move my cat. Perfect. This works as expected. There are a few things that you want to make sure are present in your game to make this work. First of all, in game, you need to add the key listener with this new controller that you've just built to your frame. This will ensure that whenever a key is pressed within the compounds of the frame, that gets notified to the controller. The second thing that you want to make sure exists in our game is this line right here. Add mouse listener, give focus. If for some reason you've commented this line, your frame will not be able to receive key events. So you'll type keys and nothing will happen. And the other thing is also make sure that you have this line here. If these three lines all exist, then your game should be, your cat should be controllable.